Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our preview for The Blacklist Season 9, Episode 17, titled El Conejo. This is an episode coming to you guys on Friday. There is a good bit to talk about here just because we're at that point in the season now.
Yeah, I mean, the past couple episodes have been like top tier, 10 out of 10. So now they've raised the bar to this level. I have a lot of expectations, which probably isn't good with any show I'm going into, but this is where we are. I love the Blacklist and they've been really delivering, so I expect them to continue to deliver.
I have a little bit of fear about this episode, not gonna lie. After seeing the synopsis for it, I'm kind of like, what is going on in this episode? Is like one of the main stories even connected that much to anything? I guess we shall see.
We shall.
All right, but before we get into any more here, how about you go ahead and hit that subscribe button because we are here, of course, talking about the Blacklist multiple times a week. We also just last night had a really fun discussion about the two-part premiere of Better Call Saul, and we really hope you guys check that out. It was such a good start to the season.
Oh, it was such a good start to the season. Also, follow us over on Instagram, Matt and Jess TV. I just got a bunny this weekend, and I've got some pictures up there of Miss Fifi Fontaine.
Okay, so I think I guess the first thing we should really do here, because I know there's a lot of big stuff in this episode, but there was a very big announcement that came out earlier this week.
Yeah, so we will get deeper into it, but we had to at least acknowledge that Samar is coming back. She is coming back, and it's for this one episode. And I originally had thought that once we lost Liz, I thought this season that the Blacklist was going to really court her into coming back because she's a fan favorite. We all love her. She's just such a good character, great actress, great storylines, good for Aram. Like, I just was wondering if they would really try to court her back. I know she has some other stuff on the go, but there's no reason she wouldn't be able to maybe do not a guest spot, but more maybe like a part-time spot. I don't know, but at least we're getting her back for one episode.
Yeah, and it's gonna be fun to really get into a little bit more of how she could be coming back, what it means. I mean, it sounds like that episode is gonna come in a couple of weeks, so we're gonna let this Samar stuff percolate in our heads a little bit, and then once we get close to that episode, we're then just going to unleash a downpour of theories that may or may not be correct.
Yeah, and who knows? There may even be more information that continues to come out closer to when she's actually gonna appear.
Right, so this episode, El Conejo on Friday, this is episode number 17. And for those of you who don't know, we still have a 22 episode season here. The Blacklist somehow, some way has actually been able to commit to this episode order these past couple of years.
Yeah, so we still are going to have 6 more episodes. And just so everyone knows when the finale is, it is May 27th. But as we've said many times, if you've been here a while, you know we are here twice a week talking preview and review. So, buckle up, guys. May 27th is the end date for the season. But there is a season 10 already in the books coming up. So there's going to be lots more to talk about.
So for this episode in particular, the thing that's being promoted first and foremost, and this is where I start to get like, I don't know, a weird tingle up my spine, is that like a member of the task force is being captured by the leader of a cartel. And it's just sort of like, why? Like, don't get me wrong. I mean, cartel stories can be very entertaining. We just mentioned Better Call Saul, but it is like, why are we going here with the Blacklist? What does a cartel have to do with anything?
Yeah, and it's hard to know exactly who it is that's getting captured by the cartel, but there are some photos, press photos that have been released, and we do see Aram in a struggle with some dudes that are trying to grab him up, so it could be him. And we did just see Aram kind of dupe over Reddington, where it was kind of like the give and take. No, Aram gonna take, and then he gonna take again. So is it possible that him going that way ends up in a situation where the cartel is like, no, we're not having that. Reddington promised ABC because you were supposed to deliver ABC and you didn't, and now we're taking you? As possible.
It makes some sense because there's got to be some sort of actual connection. Like, why is this cartel showing up now? Why are they tormenting Aram of all people. I will say, for a lot of us Amir fans who have been just sort of like waiting in the wings for like him to actually have some sort of like real substantial story arc, it's like in between him being the temporary head of the task force to this to Samar coming back. We eating good, finally.
Yeah, we have been complaining all season that we have not had enough Aram going on. And yeah, now we're getting all the Aram. And I'm definitely not complaining anymore. I'm really excited for what's going to be coming up, especially the Samar stuff.
So, okay, so we have this capturing or whatever situation that's going on here. And according to the synopsis, in the midst of all of this, the person who is seemingly captured turns to Red for guidance. Now, if this is Aram, like those photos suggest, him going to a Reddington at this point being like, can you help me with the situation? What do we... Hey, buddy, old pal, you know, what's Reddington's reaction going to be to all of this?
Yeah, it's not going to be great, but I mean, Cooper has already tried to lay out some groundwork between Reddington and Aram when Reddington said, I can't work with Aram. He's not doing a give and take. He's just take. I'm not having that. So all the best to you. Where Cooper was kind of like, you've done this to us a whole bunch of times. Like, we will figure it all out. Aram, you know Aram, you love Aram, he's a good guy. We'll all figure it out. So I'm kind of wondering if maybe a decision that Aram makes gets him in trouble with the cartel, which is something that he did against Reddington again, where Reddington can then come in and say, I told you so. You have to give and take, because if you don't, you end up in this situation and you need me. So can we now sit down at the table together and do a give and take going forward? It might be the thing that makes Aram realize that he can't just keep duping over Reddington and that he actually does need to work with him.
Anything else will not end up working well for you, Aram. I say this as a friend who does not want to see you miserable the rest of the season.
Yep.
So the other story, and I don't think this one's going to make any of us miserable at all, is Reddington investigating a seemingly impossible heist. And like the immediate reaction to this is, okay, is this impossible heist what happened to him in terms of the discs and this information, this guidebook for Liz being taken? Because if so, I'm excited.
Oh, for sure. And I think you're on the money. I think it has to be about this, because when him and Dembe saw that these discs were in this vault, he was just like, only us knew about this, and I don't think it's you, and I know it's not me, so what else is going on here? It does feel like it would be a pretty impossible heist, and like, how did that happen? How did they go missing? How did he not notice that they went missing for 2 years? Like, even after Liz's death, I'm surprised nowhere in here that Reddington was like, well, I better destroy those CDs, because if I don't and somebody else finds them, spaghettios, right? So it's kind of strange that he just didn't even know they were gone.
I think Reddington was just too preoccupied being off on his mountain, having Mirsa shave his head. Ever since Mirsa left, Reddington has not gotten a single haircut. He's just letting it fly.
And I am thankful for it. He looks better with the hair. Not everyone does. You look good with the no hair.
Thank you.
But Reddington needs to have his hair.
Yeah, it's a fun new look for him. But I think in general, one of the real challenges for the writers here is that they got to build towards a big reveal, obviously, of who is responsible for it. I mean, your Marvin theory seems to be kind of leading the pack right now, but it's also like, you want to give us the answer, but you obviously want to string us along too. But how much longer can they realistically string us along and come up with like new variables and things to look for and people to talk to before it starts to just feel like, okay, we are really just running around in a circle?
Yeah, I mean, we've had that with this show before, where they have, dragged out a storyline where it's kind of like, okay, this needs to wrap up. Like, who is Reddington? It's 8 seasons. Just give us the answer, kind of thing. And let's move on to another mystery. So we know that this show can do that.
Yeah.
But if they're going to drag out further than just this season of who killed Liz, I mean, maybe they can do a decent job with it, but it feels like one solid season is good. And then
Yes.
it's time to move into what's the next big mystery with this show.
Yeah, like I want to know who this person is at the very least by the finale. That way we can have a full
Yeah.
season that's sort of like a battle between these multiple parties and whatever that is going to look like, whether it is, Marvin assembling his own sort of Avengers or the real Katarina somehow being out there. Or, we've seen a lot of other theories in the comments, like Mr. Kaplan is suddenly getting a lot of buzz, even though she's been seemingly dead for a long time.
Yeah, and Lou is getting some buzz as well. I don't know what his motivation would be to kill Liz, but I mean, maybe he's got some motivation, at least on the Cooper front.
Well, we will be back on Friday. We will do our own investigation into this impossible heist, and we will come back to you with what we've learned, and we can all have a lively discussion together. Let's just hope this is a really fun episode.
Yeah, I think it will be. Like I said, I'm going in positive. We have 2 really good episodes in a row. They're really gearing up for a good end of the season.
Hit that subscribe button, everybody, so you don't miss our review. Thank you guys for watching. See you here next time.